What's up, everybody? It's your boy Jack Rabbit. Excuse me for my belching. I'm back with another Kamen Rider review. Yep, another Kamen Rider Exit review. Man, I know you guys are probably going to get tired of Kamen Rider for a while, but I mean, the last, 3 videos? I've had Kamen Rider stuff, but, that's what I got to review. Yes, I am going to do the Legacy helmet. I'm going to film that after I film this, so it'll be like coming up like right quick, I think this is the best way for me to do filming to last a week, is just film a bunch at once whenever I get a chance to, and then go and review them. I'm trying to think if there's anything else I need to review. I mean, there's a bunch of stuff I still need to review around here. I mean, heck, I got my action figures for Mighty Morphin I still need to review. Yeah, I still need to review that line when I get a chance to. But I'm sidetracked. Alright, so today I've got for you the Doogie. Now, this is going to get confusing now. If you guys know video terms, it's going to get confusing. I've got the Gyarados and Dual Beta. Yeah, what's funny about these is I will go over once I get the Gashats out here. But let's go over the boxes first. Now, the Gyarados is Kamen Rider Paradox's transformation device. Now, he turns into two different forms. You have Knockout Fighter, and then you have Perfect Puzzle. Perfect Puzzle is kind of like his main form. He uses Perfect Puzzle majority of the time, but he does use Knockout Fighter occasionally. Alright, here's his box. Let's get Gyarados Beta out of the way. You've got a picture of Knockout Fighter, a picture of Paradox, a picture of the Gashat. The holder thing, I'm going to call it a double Gashat Kimiwasa, because they don't give it a name, so it's a double Kimiwasa. Oh god, that's terrible. I know. Oh yeah, if you guys notice, I don't sound perfect right now. It's because I got this cold that's been kicking my butt. That's another reason why I didn't upload my Loot Crate right when I wanted to. I wanted to do it like Saturday. I wanted to upload that on Saturday. But it didn't get uploaded because I was just sicker than a dog. I slept majority of the day. And then Sunday, I was just, I just didn't. I slept, again recovering. And then Monday, finally uploaded this video. So, alright, so here's the box. It does go back to that same kind of pack. There's a picture of Perfect Puzzle, looking kind of badass, because he is a badass. There's the back of the box. There's the top of the box. As you guys can see, it went back to the style of packaging they use for the Game Boy Driver, which I like, so that's cool. And then you got Knockout Fighter. Knockout Fighter. I love his jingle, though, for Knockout Fighter. So you might hear me play that a couple of times. Now it's showing, as you can tell here on top of the box, it's showing, first of all, it shows the contents on this side. It shows what it works with. It does work with the Gamer Driver. I don't know what that is, but it does work with that as well. A slot holder thing, like double Kimiwasa. The Key Slasher, which I don't own. As I said, I'm not buying any of the Gashcons. So, alright, now let's go over this packaging. You've got, now this is the transformation device used by Kamen Rider Brave and Kamen Rider Snipe, aka Hero, and Tigra, for respectively. Now, I'm probably botching their names because, well, I can't speak Japanese and I'm not very good with names anyway, so as you all know. But to go into the level 50s, there's Kamen Rider. Now, there will be spoilers later, so I'm going to warn you guys now. There's Tabble Fantasy for Kamen Rider Brave, and then Bang Bang Simulation for Kamen Rider Snipe. Very cool forms. See, there's a better picture of Kamen Rider Snipe. I love this form for Kamen Rider Snipe. I mean, I really do. Shows you how it works. There's the top of the box showing off Again, their respective forms, everything it comes with, what it works with, as you all know. You know, basically the same basic jingle. There's Countable Fantasy, who I also really like. But more about him later. I got some stuff I gotta say that I don't want to say right now. I just wish we would see him more in the show, but I'll explain why we don't see him more in the show when I get to the beta. Gyodol Beta, which this is what this is. Alright, so let's get rid of these boxes, get them on our way, and let's bring in the... Whee! Hopefully I didn't damage the boxes too much, because I do like those boxes. And I am going to be using those for shipping down the way. Alright, now I gotta sit down, because I need to see what the hell I'm doing. And, okay, so let's do the perfect puzzle first. Because, well, it appeared first in the show. Now, if you guys know video game logic, the funny thing about this is... If you know video game logic, a beta is normally a name given to a game that's not quite complete yet, but they bring it out so that way you can test it. But yet, they call this the Gyodol Beta, even though this came out, toy-wise it came out second, and the show it came out second. It was developed after the Gyodol. So I don't know why they didn't call this the Gyodol Beta and then call this the Gyodol. I don't know. That doesn't make sense to me, but whatever. I'm not a show guy. Maybe, maybe they got explanation. Maybe, Dan, aka Kamen Rider Gaim, or Danger Zombie, whichever one you want to call him. Yeah, I know, I haven't talked about that. But maybe he was developing this one first, but then he just completed this one first. I don't know. Doesn't make any sense to me, but whatever. Yeah, I should get all I'm sicker than a dog. But, okay, so, perfect puzzle. Now, this does have an on and off switch, just like the, Double X, Mighty Action Brothers Double X did. It also does take batteries. They both do. They both have the battery compartments. These are real easy to take off. I use a hex key. You just press that down and push this out. Pretty simple. Alright, so to turn it on, one of my favorite things about the toy. Alright, well, let me show off the features before. As you can tell, there's pictures of each of the riders on each side. I will show that off here in a little bit. Here's how this works. It's a spinner. It's basically the same for both. Okay. Kind of cool. Alright, so I could review these. Besides sounds, I could review these basically at the same time. And guess what I forgot to go grab? Yeah, my gamer driver. I'm going to need that. I'll go grab that in a minute while I talk about more about like storyline stuff for. Alright, so Paradox shows up. Paradox has been in the show since episode 1. But we really don't know about him. Apparently he's a bugster. Okay, so now more recently we find out that he's not just a bugster, but he is Kamen Rider X8's bugster. Yes, so that makes it very interesting. Okay, so to go now, you saw when I turned this on. Hold on, it said. That is so cool. I like how it says its name like that, and it's very loud. Like this is a very loud Gashat. Now, hold on. I do want to show one more thing before I leave the sounds on. You can press one of these, and they both activate. So it doesn't really matter which one you press. Which I think is kind of cool, but also kind of... Okay, so let's do Perfect Puzzle. Let's show off the sides for that first. Alright, so, Perfect Puzzle.
Perfect puzzle. What's the next stage? Duo up! The glory of the perfect puzzle.
Now that's what Perfect Puzzle looks like, as you can see in the picture. Now there's a light there. It works a lot like the other...
Game start.
Okay.
Fight. Game clear. Game start. Fight. Game
Okay. I want to show that off again. Hold on.
Shot gear. Duo. Perfect puzzle. Duo up.
It does. It has the same style of light feature like the others do, which I think is cool. But it's like a LED like screen, so that's really cool. All right, now let's show off his Kibiwasa sound. So what you got to do for that is you got to take the Gyodol, flip it back to start position like this. Do not turn it into knockout fighter mode, otherwise you'll have to restart all the stuff, which is annoying. But what you do is combo. Now, that is cool. I'm sorry, I do like his sound. Still has got you. Alright. Now in the show he uses perfect puzzle majority of the time, so I could understand why that's the main side. He doesn't really use knockout fighter. Okay, now I need to actually go.
Knockout fighter. The strongest
Just
round
one. Now that's knockout fighter. He looks badass. Now you gotta put it where. Now that's the only thing I don't like about this Gachet is that I don't know why I just did that. Turn it back on. The only thing I don't like about this is the fact that when you're in knockout fighter mode, you cannot see your screen because it does not light up down here because that's perfect puzzle side. That's the only thing I don't like. But since in the show he uses perfect puzzle majority of the time, I could understand why they would do it the way they did it. You know, they didn't, cheap it out. They just kind of, said, hey, this is what we're going to do. I understand that. I can't be too mad about that. Now, of course, as you saw in the packaging, spoiler alert, again, spoiler, if you hadn't seen episode 29 yet, which I have not watched, but I think it's supposed to appear in episode 29 or 28. I don't know yet, but he gets another form, because of course he can't go without going another form, because right now him and Ex-Aid are kind of even with, because both Perfect Puzzle and because technically Ex-Aid right now is stronger, because I believe Perfect Puzzle is a level 50 and Ex-Aid's maximum Mighty Action X is a level 99. So Ex-Aid right now has got a power increase. Wait, no, Perfect Puzzle is level 100. I'm not sure. I think Perfect Puzzle is 50 though. Don't hold me to that. I'm not sure on that. I have to look that up, but I think Perfect Puzzle is level 50. Okay, so of course it has to function with the Game Boy driver for World War 4, which is going to be called Perfect Knockout Fighter. Now, let me put this in, and I'll show you what it does. Hold on, let's see if I can get the transformation jiggle. Hold on, I think I messed up there. Hold on. Well, that's interesting. Apparently, if you have it in knockout fighter mode, and you activate the Kimi, put it in the gamer driver, it'll automatically activate the finisher. That's interesting. Yeah, that was interesting. Okay, let's not do that again, shall we? Alright, so let's put her in, like this. That is the, as I shut this, that is the Jiggle. Now this is the final strike. Now, I like it. I mean, I can't wait to see it in the show. I haven't seen episode 29 or 28 for that matter all the way through. So I need to watch those. But I do like it. I think it's cool. Definitely worth checking out. Definitely worth watching. You know, definitely worth watching. You know. Now let's get the Steel Gold Beta, aka Kamen Rider, Snipe, and Braves level 50s. Now I'm going to talk about Table Fantasy first, because A, it came up in the show first, and B, now how this got made was Kamen Rider Gaim, or Dangerous Zombie, steals both Kamen Rider Brave and Snipe's Gashats. All their Gashats. Let's see, I'm trying to think here. Yeah, all their Gashats. And creates this. To use it against the Riders. But Hirito, aka Brave, outsmarts him and gets it from him. And uses it for the first time. Unfortunately, now, unfortunately, he is not able to use this all the time. So Snipe uses this majority of the time. So we really don't get to see Table Fantasy that often. Because apparently, Brave's heart cannot handle the Gashat. For some odd reason. And this is the first time we're really seeing, besides towards a little girl named Nico, really showing compassion from Snipe, you know. Most of the time, he's just an arrogant little jackass. But, you know, we're actually showing that he has some compassion. He is not just a jackass. But I'm going to show you Table Fantasy stuff real quick, and then we'll talk more about Bang Bang Simulation. More about Snipe. Wait. Now, as I told you before, turn the wheel back, turn it back. Oh. Alright, now that's Kamen Rider Brave stuff. Alright. Now, he, as I said, is not able to use it. But, so, naturally, Bang Bang Simulation, Snipe uses it majority of the time. Now, Snipe's actually not a complete douchebag. He just acts like that way because he's very, very, you know, as we'll revealed more recently, he's just very, very self-contained. He wants to keep his feelings to himself. You know, it probably has something to do with the reason why he's not a doctor anymore. Like, why he lost his ability to be a doctor. You know, lost his license, which the show's really not gone into. But I am starting to like Snipe. You know, he's still an arrogant jackass. He kind of reminds me of... I'm going to use Power Rangers here. I'm sorry, everybody. But the Quantum Rangers arc, Eric from Power Rangers Time Force. His arc. You know, he starts off as this douche. You know, real douchebag. You know, a guy you want to punch in the face. But then by the end of the show, you really start to understand him. And you realize, hey, you know what? He's not such a bad guy. He's actually got a reason why he acts the way he does. You know, he's not just an arrogant douche. He's actually nice, you know. He's actually a sweetheart, you know. He's totally a guy, you know, you should totally come hang out with, you know. So now that, you know, we know more about him, I can understand him a little bit more, you know. He's not this arrogant douchebag. And he did show compassion for Snipe. For Brave. He actually helped heal Brave up after the Gashat really hurt his heart. You know. The show just said, oh, you don't have the energy level to handle the Gashat. But no, it was his heart. Come on, guys. Cheap answer, but it is cool to see Snipe do his little bang bang thing with this Gashat, because if you totally look like it this way, like he's looking down the gun, it totally looks like a gun, which is cool. Alright, so let's do Bang Bang Simulation, and then we're going to talk about what the feature in the show, how they transform, because they don't just use the Gildool to transform. I'll talk about that in a minute, though.
Onboard simulations! I'm ready. Your battleship. I'm ready. Your battleship. Duo up! Enemy incoming! Shoot down simulation!
Now, you notice the pictures. Now, you guys saw the picture that showed up when it was Brave's side. It was just Brave was on top, Snipe was on bottom. They switched it. See? They switched it, which I think is cool that both are pictured on the side. So that way, you know.
Team A, voila! Duo, Gashat. Bam! Critical fire! Mission complete!
I'm sorry, but that sounds cool. I'm sorry, but that sounds cool. You know, he totally... I'm sorry. Snipes definitely... Gashats are beginning to be one of my favorites. Now, I am going to keep this with Snipes Gashats because he uses this majority of the time. That's why I'm going to keep this with Snipes Gashat on my display. Because, you know, he keeps it most of the time. You know. But I am hoping Brave gets another Gashat. Because, you know, it's kind of one-sided here. Because you got Snipe and Brave are at level 50. Well, Snipe's at level 50. Brave is at level 5 maximum. Sometimes level 3. And then you got X8 who's at level 99. There's kind of a power gap there that they need to kind of fix. I mean, yeah, I know X8's going to be always be the strongest rider. You know, he's the main rider of the show. But they shouldn't have a power gap that big, you know. Especially X8 to Brave. I mean, come on. Those two work in the same office, you know. Yeah, don't you think that wouldn't cause some office problems if one of them was a lot stronger than the other one? As you guys can see here, I'm bringing back the Gamer Driver. Because, of course, in the show, they don't just transform like Paradox does, where it's them in their hands, you know. They actually use the, Gamer Driver, which I will show off now. Alright, so Tabble Fantasy. Now, I like that. The sound does get slightly boosted when you do That was cool. The sound is slightly boosted when you use... Let's take it out. Hey. The guild rules do not like to get out of the gamer driver. Tank's turn. You better shit. Okay, yeah, I love that. Alright, now it's time to talk final thoughts on these. Sorry I didn't talk much when I was doing the snipe transformation giggles, all that, in the gamer driver. But I didn't want to talk and have you guys not hear them because they're really cool. Now, overall, I'm going to say this now. One more thing about Perfect Puzzle that I didn't mention when I was really going over him is that I actually have been walking around the house with my belt on, with this on my belt. Like, I like this. Like, this totally... Hey, Power Rangers. You should totally knock off this for a transformation device. I'm just saying. It would be badass. I mean, totally be badass. Like, totally worth it. Now, these retail... I got these off of Amazon. And... Hold on, let me... and they weren't terribly priced. Amazon USA, to be exact. And, hold on. I'm looking it up right now, guys, because, you know, I want to tell you guys exactly how much I paid for both of these bad boys. Alright, delivered yesterday. Okay. Alright, so this was $48.97. And this one was right around 50 something, I think. Yeah, 50.78. So right around $99 for both of these bad boys. So definitely a good purchase, I would say. So yeah, definitely worth getting them both. I would say definitely make sure you get both of these coming up because pretty soon they're going to be out of. You know, when the show ends, these are going to skyrocket. You don't want that. You guys get these guys now before they skyrocket, because if they skyrocket, nobody's going to be able to afford these bad boys. When they skyrocket, you're done. I mean, I'm finding that out on Power Ranger stuff, you know. Once they start to skyrocket, you're in trouble. You know, once they skyrocket, you're in trouble. Once they start to skyrocket. Now, I'm almost caught up on my Gashats, so that's a good thing. But yeah, no, overall, I would say definitely these are definitely, if you're a completionist, if you just want all the transformation devices, if you're a completionist a lot like I am, like, I've got to have everything on the line, you know. At least transformation device-wise. I'm skipping the weapons, you know, just because I'm trying to tell myself no, you know. And it doesn't help with the Bugster Visor, which is technically a weapon. Also converts as a, you know, starts off as a weapon, and then all of a sudden it becomes a driver. That doesn't help me any, but, so I count it as a driver, okay? So, as I said, next, I'm going to, probably either today or tomorrow, do the Legacy helmet. Probably not tomorrow, I mean, because I'm filming this on Monday, so probably not tomorrow, probably the next day. Probably Wednesday. Okay, let's just say I'm going to film it Wednesday. It should be uploaded by Friday or Saturday, hopefully, as long as I don't slack, like I love to do, as you all know. I'm a notorious slacker. But yeah, so this is everything. This, I would definitely say, yeah, as I said, these are pick upable. 100%. I love these Gashats. You know, definitely, if you guys haven't started watching Kamen Rider Ex-Aid, start now. Get yourselves caught up. It is an amazing show. I mean, I don't watch the Super Sentais because I don't like to read subs. You know, I'll just watch dubbed over versions, you know. That's what I do. You know, I do that with Super as well. But Kamen Rider Ex-Aid, show you must watch. It is freaking amazing. Now, will I be continuing with Kamen Rider after Ex-Aid? I don't know. I think I might go back and watch Drive or Decade after this, but I'm not sure. You know, because that's like 60 episodes. But they're all up, so I could watch it whenever I want. But yeah. But yeah, definitely worth watching. I would definitely say pick them up whenever you get a chance, because they're definitely worth picking up. Alright, I will talk to you guys later. Peace. I'm out. And if you guys want to know where to find me, I'm on Facebook. Just look up the name Jack Bruce and look for a picture of me from my last convention. And Twitter, my Twitter handle is SockTurkey2010, I believe. And that's pretty much the best ways to reach me, is Twitter or Facebook. I do check my Twitter every so often. So if you tweet at me or anything, I will check it. And I will talk to you guys later. Peace, and I'm out.